welcome to another weekly reading vlog. I have started a lot of books this week. I started the audiobook for Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan. I am only 48 pages in. I also started the audiobook for Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I am 68 pages into this. I basically just started the audiobook over from where I was last month. And then I also started The Silent Patient by Mikulitis, and I am only 55 pages into that. This is about a woman who murders her husband, and she ends up being put in a mental health facility for treatment, and she hasn't talked since she did it. We're reading from the point of view of her psychiatrist that's trying to help her, and then we're also getting diary entries from her diary prior to the murder. I'm liking it so far. It's really setting up the unreliable narrator trope very well with the psychiatrist. It's a really easy read. Those are the books that I'm gonna prioritize reading this week. They're all pretty big, so I'm not gonna push myself to read anything else, especially after last week, which was just absolutely terrible. I'm so glad last week is just behind me and I can move on from it. So those are the reading plans this week. We'll see how it goes. I'm expecting to do a whole lot better than I did last week. Last week was just bad. So yeah, those are the things that I'm reading, and I will update you guys once I'm back from work and have been reading some stuff. Some reading, but not a whole lot. Mostly yesterday I cleaned my house. My imposter syndrome shows itself in the way that if my house is dirty, in my head my brain tells me that I don't deserve my house or where I live or any of my stuff. That's super fun. That basically means that if I put off cleaning something, then I have to hard clean until everything is clean and I can't see a speck of dirt anywhere. That's not what you're here for. Let's talk about what I've read. I did do a little bit more reading of The Silent Patient last night. I got to page 87. I was at 50, I think, before. Still enjoying it. I am curious, I would like to see what the obsession is with Alicia. My bad. Whatever her name is. I would like to see why he's so obsessed with her. I didn't get any further into Wicked Saints. I am still only on page 48. I have made quite a bit of progress in Children of Blood and Bone. I have been listening to the audiobook and I'm now on page 131. But for right now, I do need to make some food, and then I'm probably gonna play some Overwatch for a couple of hours. I say that and then I play one game and then I just get in bed and watch YouTube videos until I fall asleep. I'm definitely feeling these two the most. I'm not super feeling Wicked Saints. I was listening to the audiobook and they chose, so I believe this is Russian inspired. And so a lot of the names and stuff, and they speak in a Russian accent or Russian sounding accent. The narrators aren't Russian naturally, their accents are English, American, whatever naturally. So then when they switch into the Russian accents, it's not bad. They're not doing a terrible job, but it's just very distracting. And so I don't think I'll be listening to the audiobook. I think I'm gonna end up reading this physically. But yeah, I'm not super as invested into this as I am the other two. I'm gonna go do the things and I'll update y'all once I am doing some things. Last night I finished The Silent Patient by Mikulitis. I'm gonna have to give this 3 stars. I think I need to give up on the idea that I am going to love thrillers, because I just don't think that that is going to be the case. Like, I might find one or two that are like exceptions to the rule, but there's always I always feel like there's something missing every time I read a thriller. And I don't know what that something is. I don't know. It was easy to read. It was just boring. And I think the reveal was not new or unguessable. It wasn't shocking. Like, I wasn't like, oh shit. Like, I wasn't impressed. I didn't hate it by any means. Like, obviously I finished it and I read it and I had an okay time reading it. But I just don't think that it was anything new and exciting and spectacular. And yeah, really the only thing that it had going for it was like the writing was pretty easy to like get through. But other than that, like, I wasn't astounded by it. I'm gonna continue listening to the audiobook of Children of Blood and Bone and reading Wicked Saints physically, and I will update you guys when I have some thoughts in either of those. This angle? I think we do. I have finished Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan, and I think I'm gonna give this 2 stars. This is basically the story. It's a dual POV story. It's about Nadia, who is a cleric, which is like a mage, for one kingdom. And then the other point of view is the prince of the other enemy kingdom. The prince's name is Seraphim. The prince and his army attacks the monastery where Nadia is staying, and she has to flee. And when she flees, she meets like a band of refugees, I guess. And one of them is a blood mage of the enemy country. They're like, well, we want to kill the king, so band with us. We'll go to the enemy kingdom and we'll get you like into their society and we'll take you to kill him. The other point of view is the prince. So the things that I liked about this, I felt like the author did a lot of research. I don't know if she is Russian and or Polish. No, she's not. She just has studied Slavic folklore. I felt like that was strong. There was Russian and Polish folklore in here that I think was great. However, the world building itself was very lacking. I felt like I couldn't... Yes, I'm drinking coffee at 7 o'clock at night. I felt like I couldn't picture the world, which is kind of important in fantasy. The actual like magic system was very messily written. I didn't understand how things worked and how are they supposed to work. And so when stuff started going weird with the magic, I was like, okay. Nadia was very self-righteous the whole time while simultaneously being really dumb, making really dumb decisions. Seraphim was pointless. Every chapter that was his point of view, it was nothing. It was him getting drunk. There was like, I don't know why we got his point of view at all. I am not opposed to reading the second one in this series. I know that's weird because I gave it 2 stars, but the second one could be interesting. I like the writing style. I think the writing style is easy to connect with, and I don't think it's poorly written as far as like actual words, sentence structures, etc. I just think it needs more fine tuning and it needs more beef to it. I am interested to see how the ending wraps up. And I feel like the second book is really going to focus on the only character that I liked. I'm gonna call him Mal because I cannot pronounce his name, but here is his full name. And he was really fascinating. So I would not mind reading a book about him. I just hope that the book is beefed up and a little bit more developed than this was. So the last book that I said I wanted to prioritize reading is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I am 136 pages in. I'm expecting this to be very highly rated. So basically in this world, the kingdom figured out how to suppress Magi's magic and basically killed all of them off. So they had to go into hiding. So the main girl, Zelly, is a magi, and the kingdom and like the world, the Orisha, lost all of its magic when she was 6, and her mother was killed. And since then, she's been hiding her magic, and she's been living in this village just trying to get by. And then she has a run-in with the crowned princess. They run away. They're on a search to translate this scroll that the crown princess stole from her tyrannical father. Meanwhile, our other POV is the crowned prince and his journey to catch them, but also his exploration of his own powers, because he's showing signs of powers as well, and he's also showing signs that he might be connected to Zelly in a certain kind of way. Like, it seems to be some sort of like connection in the mind. I think so far the world building is really good. So far, I think the world building is really good. Our writer is doing a very good job of like establishing character development, even only 130 pages in. So I'm definitely really enjoying this. Gonna continue reading this, and I will update you guys once I have some like definitive thoughts. Okay, so I am officially halfway through Children of Blood and Bone. I'm loving it. It's so good. And we just got to like a major scene where they compete in a competition. It's just written so well, and I love the characters, and like the magic system is so interesting. I don't have a lot to say because I'm just so excited to continue reading. That's my update. I'll let you guys know if anything crazy happens. I apologize for this very scuffed angle. It's not great, friends, but it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I have finished Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 stars. I thought this was fantastic. The writing is absolutely amazing. The world building is just phenomenal, and it tackles some really important topics: police brutality, colorism, colonialism, just a lot of important stuff. And I love that people of color are picking this up and like being able to see themselves and their experiences in this. The plot is a pretty standard like fantasy plot, but like I said, the world building and like the magic system just blew it out of the water. Like, fantastic. My one complaint was that one of the main characters, Anon, who is the prince, had very weird development in that I felt like it was nothing and then it was everything all at once. So it made for a very unsatisfactory redemption arc, and also an unsatisfactory romance. Very good. I would recommend. It's really, really good, and I am very excited to pick up the second one. I am probably not going to do any more reading tonight because I'm tired and it's way past my bedtime. I will talk to you guys tomorrow with what I'll be reading this weekend. Good morning, guys. It is time to decide what book I want to read. So I have a couple of options. The stack on the left is due back sooner than the stack on the right, but the stack on the left has a lot of fantasies, whereas the stack on the right has some more various options. So I think I am between The Mist of Avalon or maybe Roanoke Girls. I think I'm gonna go with Roanoke Girls. Sometime around 11 o'clock, and I am halfway through The Roanoke Girls by Amy Engel. This is equal parts fascinating and disgusting. So let me read the summary to you. After her mother's suicide, 15-year-old Lane Roanoke moved in with her grandparents and fireball cousin Allegra on their vast estate in rural Kansas. Lane knew little of her mother's mysterious family, but quickly embraced life as one of the rich and beautiful Roanoke girls until she discovered the dark truth at the heart of the family and ran, fast and far away. 11 years later, Lane is adrift in Los Angeles when her grandfather calls to tell her Allegra has gone missing. Did she run too, or something worse? Unable to resist his pleas, Lane returns to help search and to ease her guilt at having left Allegra behind. Her homecoming may mean a second chance with her boyfriend, whose heart she broke that long ago summer, but it also means facing the devastating secret that made her flee, one she might not be strong enough to run from again. As it weaves between Lane's first Roanoke summer and her return, the Roanoke girls shocks and tantalizes exploring the secrets families keep in the fierce and terrible love that both binds them together and rips them apart. I'm not gonna talk about this too much because I feel like this is one that like you have to go in just with the synopsis and no other information. It's something. I will say it's well written, it's engaging. The jump back between present and past is great, and it has just this very eerie feeling. The main character has like a very flat affect, and so she's just living it, I feel like, which is making it all the more unsettling. I'll talk to you guys when I'm done. So it is a couple of hours later, like 3 o'clock or something, and I finished Roanoke Girls by Amy Engel. I think I'm gonna give this 3 stars. I think I enjoyed the read, but I don't know if I will remember it like 2 months from now. It was written well, it was unsettling, it was disturbing, but I just don't think that it will stick with me. But now I need to go pick another book, so I will be right back. So these are the books that I have left of the books that are like due back the soonest. So I have Mists of Avalon, Arthurian Legends told from the point of view of women. We have Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, which is like dark academia thing. We have Raybearer by Jordan E. Fuego, which is a fantasy about a girl that is like trying to kill the crown prince or something. We have Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury, but I think I want to save this for when I pick up all of my Halloween reads. We have Aurora Burning by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, which is the second book in the Aurora Rising series. And I gotta be honest, I don't really remember Aurora Rising all of that well. I'll probably have to look up some spoiler reviews before I pick this up. And then lastly, I have Crown of Feathers by Nikki Palprito, which is about Phoenix Riders and sisters and some stuff. I did read 2 fantasies back to back, so I don't know if I want to pick up a high fantasy, which kind of eliminates this. I think this is a high fantasy, and also this is like political intrigue, so I don't really want to read another political intrigue this week. This is urban fantasy, I think, and I have heard that this is very dense. I started it previously and DNF'd it because it's a lot of info dump at the very beginning. I don't really feel like committing a lot to my reading right now. So that leaves Aurora Burning or Mists of Avalon. Mists of Avalon looks huge. It is huge. And the writing is small, almost 900 pages. I don't know how easy this is gonna be, but this is kind of what I'm leaning towards. She's like scratching a box. Isn't it wonderful, the noise in the background? So we'll see if I like this. I'm gonna start Mist of Avalon and let you guys know how this goes. Guys, it is time to wrap up this vlog. I just finished Aurora Rising. So let's get into the things that I read this week. So I read The Silent Patient by Alec Mikulitis, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. I read Wicked Saints by Emily A. Duncan, which I gave 2 out of 5 stars. I read Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I read The Roanoke Girls by Amy Engel, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. And I read Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. This is the second book in the Aurora cycle, I think, or something like that. This was not great. I think I gave the first one 4 stars. This one felt very flat. The characters felt very flat. The plot was them blowing up one place, Ari fainting, then them going somewhere else, and then blowing that place up, and then her fainting again. It just felt like any character development or relationships or anything that we built up in the first one just died. I might read the third one. Is it out yet? I don't even know. I just didn't enjoy it. So those are all of the books that I read this week. A pretty productive week, I think. But that's gonna be it for this vlog. Make sure you like it if you liked it. Comment down below if you've read any of these books and you have thoughts on them. Subscribe if you want to. And I will see you guys in my next one.